Any unforeseen circumstances you guys been through, like let's just say weather, lighting, you know, when those kind of things come around.
We live in unforeseen circumstances.
Give us a story about something.
It decided to rain
all day.
Like not even like cute rain, just like
pouring down rain.
No.
Yeah, so crazy raining all day. And so she had a bridal suite at the Marriott that had this balcony, like this beautiful balcony with the monument in the back and everything. And she had planned to have her first look with her father there. And she was like, I can't do it. It's just too much rain. Yeah. And I was like, well, I don't mind being in the rain.
Right.
So, you know,
we got weather seal cameras.
Yes. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reason why you hire a photographer. That's why you cost so much. That's why we charge so much. Because we got professional gear.
Speak on it.
Speak on it.
We got professional gear.
You might need to say it one more time.
We got professional gear. I'm sorry, Megan. Welcome to the Wedding Dreams Unveiled podcast, your go-to source for insightful conversations with ordinary newlyweds and vendors navigating the difficult world of wedding planning. I'm your host, Livingston Lee, and with a decade of experience and hundreds of weddings captured, I'm here to tell you some of my stories about the wedding business. Now let's get started with today's guest, Megapixels Media.
Hello.
How are you guys doing today?
We are excellent.
Excited to be here.
Happy to be here.
Thank you guys for coming up. I appreciate it. You guys trucked all the way up from Baltimore. I reached out to you and you guys were like, we are coming. Yes. We are there.
We're here.
So I definitely appreciate that. I've been reaching out to a lot of people, just trying to make this a platform for, you know, us photographers and videographers and couples to try to get the word out there to wedding couples that's planning right now. So that way, you know, they can kind of have something to go to, because in my experience and from what I've seen, I don't think there's anything out there like this.
Not that I've seen.
So, you know, trying to just get this out there to the masses. That way everybody know we exist. And,
yes.
You know, so, but welcome.
Thank you for having us. Very humbled to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate the invite. We've seen a lot of our other photography and videography friends on the podcast. So definitely appreciate being here.
For sure. Thank you guys for coming up. So you guys want to tell us a little bit about who Megapixels Media is and also how long you guys been in the business?
Yes, great question. So Megan and Garrett, we're a husband and wife team.
Yep.
We actually started this right after we got married. So we got married in 2013.
Okay.
So,
wonderful.
You know, Pinterest was new.
Yep.
Instagram was just starting to bud. It was very personal. Like Instagram was a personal space back then. Mm-hmm. So finding a wedding vendor on Instagram was not even a thing. Mm-hmm. So back then it was word of mouth, or you go to one of those big wedding shows.
Yep.
So the word of mouth was kind of weird. I mean, we didn't really want to do that because, you know, yeah, that part. But so we went to a wedding show, and the thing about the wedding shows is when we went, it was primarily white males, and which is fine, but we didn't see ourselves reflected in their art.
Right.
And it's hard to pick an artist when you don't see yourself there.
Right.
You don't see yourself represented or celebrated. Mm-hmm. So,
and to be fair, we did actually find a good photographer.
We did find a great photographer.
It was a male and female dynamic team.
Okay.
They weren't married, but he was the primary and she was the secondary.
Okay.
And so how we liked it was we liked the fact that it had two photographers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So my little asterisk to the story is we like our photographer. We love what he stood about, what he did, what he's able to capture. But in the same breath, we didn't see necessarily when he was marketing that it was the people that look like us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, sorry, just want to throw that in.
No, it's good. It's good. So after our honeymoon, we talked about it, and I was like, man, wedding photography seems very stressful though. So we used to do like street photography, and we did like portraits, but we never did any weddings. But after our wedding, I had a friend reach out and she was like, would you mind just like coming and taking photos of us in the room? Because we hired a male photographer and I kind of want someone with the girls. And I was like, sure, I don't mind. And so as we got closer to the day, she was like, do you mind like just doing a few during the ceremony? And I was like, okay.
A little bit.
And then it was, can you just stay for the reception? You can eat too. And I was like, well, I do like eating. So we stayed. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? That was kind of fun. It wasn't as stressful as I thought it was going to be. And we kept getting more inquiries, and it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I think the one thing I really saw from you is when I knew we were in, it was probably like the second or third wedding we were capturing. And literally, I'm just right there with the bride and groom, right when they're about to say their I do's. And I just happen to look, I'm like, where's Megan at right now? And I see up on the pew, or like right on the balcony, the second floor probably. And I just happen to look up, and she's not even taking photos. She's crying in the corner over there. And I was like, what is she doing?
It was a come to God moment. I was like, this is where you're supposed to be. And I was like, yep.
Yeah, this just feels right.
This feels right.
And so I'm clickety away, and I'm looking at her. She looks at me, and I'm like, click.
This is too much information.
Sorry. Anyway, so that's when I knew she was hooked, and I already was loving it. I'm like, I love the go pace. You're always capturing moments between the moments. I love like just seeing. Honestly, it almost feels like you're a parent in a sense, because you see them come to you at a young stage. And then after they've come to you, then, we create the timeline together. We're working together. We're actually able to like kind of like piece vendors together as well. Mm-hmm. And then finally we get to the day of, and like, can you believe we're here? And I'm like, I can't, but that's pretty funny, y'all. And then we get there, and then finally it's the I say I do's, and we can give them high fives, hugs. We did it, kind of deal. And so it's really cool, really enjoyable.
Really rewarding, right?
Yeah.
I love it too, man.
Yeah.
I love it too. And I've been doing weddings for 10 years now, and I still love it.
Yeah.
It's like building a little family.
Yeah. It's awesome. So before you guys were married, y'all were both photographers already?
Yep.
So,
I mean, we weren't like
formally trained yet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We would just be out on the street.
Yeah.
And getting cussed out by people and getting hit on by people.
Right.
But just like capturing real moments that happen.
And when we say street photography, so the idea behind that was being able to create a message or an image that correlated with the background and foreground and with your subjects, and being able to say, oh, that's an interesting coincidence, or that's an interesting story. Like one of the ones that I did that we got a little notoriety. I'm not gonna say a lot, but a little notoriety was an older lady who was at Costco. I just had my camera with me all the time, and it was in black and white, and she was wearing like this checkered colored hat, like white and black, and she was looking at something in her paper, and she'd had like a magnifying glass, and I thought that was just so interesting. In a world of Costco, stuff's always moving by, she's just sitting there and just has a magnifying glass reading a piece of paper. And it was so cool and interesting, because it's like, what is happening in this one moment? But it was like a nice duality between everyone moving around so fast and she's just right there focused. So those an example of what street photography is kind of.
Oh yeah. It's and that's what makes you an artist.
Yes.
You know, that kind of stuff. It's not always about the wedding stuff. You need to be an artist behind the wedding stuff.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of your images and stuff, man, and they're very creative.
Appreciate that.
You guys are doing a great thing, and we'll shout you out at the end.
I appreciate
all of your stuff. But yeah, you guys do a great job, man. So what is like some of the advice that you would give to a wedding couple if you had a wedding couple that was planning, or if you talk to couples right now that's planning? What are a couple things that you would say to do first?
As far as finding a wedding photographer, I would say the artistry is very important. But keep in mind that this is a day that, this is your once in a lifetime day. You want to be able to spend it with somebody that you like.
Yeah.
Someone that you align with, and someone who that you can share this day with, because you're spending a lot of time with your wedding photographer.
Yes.
Not a lot of people realize like we have a real like relationship together.
It's all day.
Yeah, it's all day.
You better like them.
Yeah, so
it's all day.
Pick someone that you like.
Right.
Yeah.
To add to that,
Yeah.
really good answer there. I think another one that I thought was interesting was getting them early. So just when you think, oh, well, if I know I'm getting married in 2025, maybe 2024, you might want to start doing some research, especially if you know that that's the one you want. Researching the pictures, researching what they're about, their website, researching maybe even who they've worked with in the past, And if you have any family members that actually been shot by them before, like I know Megan made the comment about the word of mouth, but I think that word of mouth is important when you're trying to make an investment in a photographer that you might think at first is maybe a little bit on the pricier side. And everyone has their different budgets. So when I say pricier, it's all relative, but on the pricier side, because you specifically feel like they would capture your moments for you.
Right.
And I think that's important too.
Oh yeah.
For that. So,
yeah. No, that's a great answer. That's a great answer. And you segue right into something else I wanted to talk about, like the cost of wedding photography.
Ooh, oh man.
I know that's a touchy subject for couples sometimes.
Yeah.
Why does wedding photography cost? Why do we charge so much? Because I know I charge a lot too.
Yeah.
Why do we charge so much?
It's a lot of work.
It is.
It's like, period. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not just us working on the wedding day, which is a lot.
That's a lot, but it's also fun. But
but that's the fun part.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of editing behind the scenes. It's a lot of marketing. It's a lot of customer care that goes into wedding photography.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I see it as an investment, truly, because you're investing in the artistry. You're investing in the people that you like.
Mm-hmm.
You're investing into their small business as well, because let's be honest, most of us photographers out there aren't some conglomerate association or organization.
Mm-hmm.
You're literally helping to put food on people's tables and so forth. And also think about all the things that's going on behind the scenes. How do they find you in the first place? The marketing. They found you through marketing.
Right.
There's money. There's expenses in that. They're using equipment. There's capital expenses in that.
Oh, yeah.
Like
yeah.
lenses and cameras are definitely not inexpensive.
Right.
And then the other one that really comes to mind is, okay, the effort and time that it took for them to get to that skill set and editing abilities, and then being able to deliver a product that you can trust in too. Because I can tell you this, crazy things happen on a wedding day, not just getting behind times, but even equipment stuff and being able to have a cool head, maybe catch up on the timeline that's behind, and then also be able to deliver a product that they can get behind. You can be fair and willing to share to everyone on the internet. So a lot of that is associated with money. A lot of that is associated with time. And unfortunately, or fortunately, those are related and correlated.
And effort.
Right. Yeah.
All the effort that goes in.
Oh, yeah.
So just looking at, coming back to why is it expensive? All those things.
Right.
And I probably missed some.
So at the end of a wedding, how much time do you add after the wedding? How many hours do you think you still take to do everything else before you get delivery to the client?
So we guarantee 6 weeks.
Yep. That's about the average.
Yeah.
Same way. Same here.
6 weeks.
Yep.
Because life happens, we usually get it done within 3 weeks.
Yep.
If we get them early, we're not holding up the photos hostage.
Right.
But like if something happens, we just, for the guarantee.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But, we understand, some artists do it faster. Some take their time a little bit longer. So it really depends on the artist.
And then also the books that you're crafting too, which are really cool also.
Yeah.
Like Megan spends a lot of time, and I think sometimes she's very meticulous about how she designs her books.
The wedding albums?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, those books, whether it be the parent albums or the premium books that the clients request or ask for.
Yep.
She's literally saying, okay, here is your spread. Here's all your photos. Okay. If it's like 2,000, whatever photos you've got, you got to pick maybe 100 plus or whatever photos you have, depending on what book size they get.
Yep.
And then what she does is that, okay, after that, then she builds the story out of that book.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, all right, I'm going to send it off to them. What do you
Hope
think?
they love it.
Hope they love it. And 9 times out of 10, she crushes it. There are a few that, all right, well, this,
move that over there, move that there.
Or
take that out.
Make me a whole new book. Which is fine. That's okay. I didn't just spend hours doing it. But what she does very well, and I'm very appreciative of that, because I when we first started, I was helping half and half, but now I've gotten away because she's taking this. She's taking it.
Oh,
she'll send them the spread in a PDF format, and we don't send anything to print until after they agree.
Okay.
So after they've agreed with it, And we probably should have in the contract how many versions they get to look through. But
fine.
you know my number.
Should be 3, but we usually say, all right, we'll make the change.
Yeah.
It's fine.
but then it goes out. So that can sometimes be a week to maybe 3 weeks, depending on how fast they get back to us. Too.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, and there's been times.
Oh man.
And I'm being generous here.
You are.
Half a year to a year.
to 2 years.
For people getting back. So
trust me.
You know what I mean?
I had one just recently. I posted something on Instagram, and then all of a sudden she saw me and was just like, "Hey, I never got that wedding album." And I was like, "You never messaged us back to say, if what pictures you wanted. I sent you the thing to pick your pictures."
Yep.
So I'm sure you guys were.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. But I'm like, that's on you. I delivered everything I could deliver.
Yep.
I got it out on time.
Yeah.
And no shade.
No shade. Yeah,
No
right.
shade at all.
No.
Couples, here's what I'm gonna tell you. When you get your gallery, make sure you go in and select the pictures that you want to go inside of your wedding album.
Oh yes.
We know you're busy.
Yep.
You on your honeymoon.
Things
You do
happen.
all those things.
Yes.
But when you get back, just select the pictures. And I know it's hard picking 60 or 70 or 80 images for, a 30-page, 40-page wedding album. I know it's hard to pick that out of 1,000 photos. I get it.
Is.
But make sure you get that done, because a lot of times a year later, those book prices go up. So make sure you get that stuff done. That'd be my little tidbit.
That's a great one.
That's a great, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, really good there.
Yeah, for sure.
We love you. Just don't forget.
Yeah, we love you. So yeah. So let's talk about like your business for just for a second, like your Megapixels Media. You guys are incorporated. Is that an LLC,
Yes,
a S corporation?
LLC.
An LLC? Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
cool. Yeah, I got a bunch of photographers who I always tell them, make sure you're incorporated, make sure you're paying your taxes,
Yes.
make sure you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, because this is a business, and if you don't do it right, you can get sued. You should carry insurance, all of that kind of stuff, so that stuff is important, because if a light stand fall on somebody, you in trouble. So, that's another thing to check for you couples out there. Make sure that your photographers is carrying insurance. That's very, very important.
Yes, the insurance factor is a big one. You don't want whoever coming by, and even just for the photographers alone, like if so, and there was one time, there's always someone, but at the end of the night, drinks been flying around. Oh, let me take your camera. Let me take for what you guys get in there too. And like, there's been times where all right, just be careful. You give it to them and you trust them. You've known them all day, and then someone getting low. Just playing. Get my stuff back.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Just being protection of yourself too, and having your equipment. And all that.
Yep. Because if something happens to your equipment, you can, call insurance company and just say, hey, it's got stolen, it dropped, it did this, it did that, and it protects us. It's the same way like car insurance. Good stuff. So destination weddings, let's talk about that.
Destination weddings.
I have a love-hate relationship with them. So
I've had people on, other photographers, and everybody says the same thing. It's like a love-hate relationship. So let's park there for a second. Let's talk about it. How do you guys approach the destination wedding? It's a lot of work. And, shout out to my man, Kenny Clapp. We talked about it and we named that episode, It's Not a Vacation.
It's not a vacation.
Not a vacation. Oh, man. I wish I could be like, yeah, man. Ooh, I just
and, it's so funny because, like, if you post it on Instagram, they're like, oh, they living the life. They about to have a good time. And it's like, yeah, we are about to have a good time. Yeah. But we're going to need a vacation after this because
feet are hurting.
Yeah, that is a long
You've
weekend.
Been carrying stuff all day.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So let's talk about that. Like, how do you guys approach your destination weddings, and what is some advice that you would give the wedding couples about how to approach that and what to look at in the photographers?
Okay, you want me?
I'll start.
I'll pitch it.
You feel it. Okay. So when looking, let's start with the clients looking for photographers. You want to look for photographers who I know we're like, if I find the cheapest, I promise you the cheapest one is not always the best one. You find one that's within your budget, and you want to find someone who has a reliable track record. So if they've shown over time that they're actually have traveled and know how to get their gear, maybe through customs or through the airport, or know how to properly pack pack it and like, oh, my stuff got stolen because I packed it. I actually checked it in.
And
that's
a no-no.
That's
all
big
of
no.
that, all of that matters because if they show up with no gear, you ain't got a photographer.
And we've seen that happen.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Not with us.
Not with
No,
us.
not with y'all.
No,
No,
but
no.
people actually packing their stuff in their check-in luggage and then like,
my drone.
oh no.
So being smart at packing your stuff up. And then I would also say, are they nimble on their feet? And what I mean by that, I mean, are they not afraid to try different angles and different shots? Because when you're there, you at least don't want to miss anything. So if that's them taking their light kit out real quick and go, or they know the proper lighting in certain dynamic situations and things like that, that's all very important too. Are they willing to be risky in that way? Not the risky where you get, arrested, but risky enough where they're willing to try different kinds of things in the long run. I think those are some spark of ideas and thoughts to look for when you're looking for a destination photographer.
Yeah. And I also think like couples have a hard choice to make because a lot of places at these resorts, they're like, you can have your wedding here for free and we'll include a photographer. But that photographer is pretty much only showing up for the ceremony.
And they don't know you.
And they don't know you and they just doing and it's not a real wedding photography experience.
No.
But it also depends on what you're looking for out of your wedding
budget,
photography experience.
Like
You need to really know what you want out of your wedding photography before you just
It's a lot of work, and I would suggest everybody to look at episode 2, and we kind of dive deep into it, talking about, it's so much going on. I had a photographer, his light stands was left in Baltimore.
Oh no!
So he improvised, but I mean, you have to make sure that and a lot of times they will charge you, the couple, for bringing their own photographer.
They do, yeah.
Because they want you to use the venue photographer.
Right.
And it's just like, well, no, we want to bring our own photographer with us. And they just like, no,
the resort doesn't benefit from that.
Yeah.
But if they use their own, wedding photographer, they can upsell you on photos. They can use those photos for their marketing. You could be right. They could be using those photos for the next 5 years.
Oh, they will be.
And they will be, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
For sure. You'll look on the website and you'll be like, hey, that's me.
Yeah, but it sure is.
I didn't get them permission to use that.
And even just from a destination standpoint, not even just the travel part, but like, do they have? I would also question: do they have the energy and the endurance to stay and keep up with it? Because it is a process.
Oh yes,
you talked about it very well. How it's not a vacation. It is 100% not a vacation.
Yes,
I might need to say it one more time, but like when you're going hardcore, because how it worked. Our longest one was like a 3-day event.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm sorry, 4-day. I'm sorry.
4
The last day was
wedding?
also travel too. Yeah,
Wow.
It was a 4-day. It was a resort destination wedding.
They rented out the resort and just invited all their friends and family. And it was a brilliant.
Beautiful.
It was brilliant because she planned everything out by the hour. So they had tailgate parties where everybody came and watched the game together. Activities. They had a blinged out party where everybody wears sequins.
It was so cool.
And she sent everybody the itinerary, weeks in advance so everybody could have their outfits ready. And of course, everybody was coordinated.
Right, it was so cool.
It was just so cool. But, she was like, and I want everything captured. From the moment where everyone arrives.
Photography, video.
Yeah.
We're getting drone.
Everything. Wow. It was brilliant.
It was an experience.
And it was 4 days, and it's unforgettable.
Yeah.
So
y'all were shooting for all 4 days.
All 4
days. And from the moment we get up, breakfast.
Oh, we had our cameras with us, the gimbals with us. We're ready to go.
We were up till 2 a.m.
Ready to go
every night. The party just did not stop.
Yeah. Wow. And we were contracted for maybe 8 hours or 12 hours one of the days, but we were with them.
When you're there,
we were there.
Yeah. And it's we've spoken with them. We know what you want out of this, and you hired us to do a job. We're gonna do that job.
And they also got a hard drive with all the raw video too.
Yeah.
So we made our stuff, our full videos and our highlight highlight videos for each day.
Really?
But then we also gave them the raw video that I felt was good to still be able to pass along so they can have those memories.
And then sending them sneak peeks throughout the day so that like they could update their Instagram.
Y'all really spoiled them.
We did.
Y'all really
did.
I don't know if they'll do that again.
But
y'all really spoiled them.
It was
sneak peeks every day.
They were special. They
and no names, like I said, no names.
Yeah, no names.
Yeah, no
Like,
names.
they know if they see this video.
And everybody's special, but it's like when you really build a relationship with your artist.
Yeah.
And when we get to know like really what you want out of this, we're gonna give you what you want.
Right.
Because we
Plus
want
more.
Plus, we're gonna over deliver.
Yeah. Well, that's why y'all, you got the following you have, and all of the stuff that y'all doing because you're over delivering.
Yeah.
And that's how you do in this wedding business. You want to over deliver.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And be humble at the same time while you're doing it.
Have to.
Yeah. Because we're happy to be there.
We just happy to get invited.
Hey.
Happy that they chose you as a wedding photographers and all of that. So that's awesome stuff.
Thank you.
So as a husband and wife team, which you guys are, everybody gets 2 photographers, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So what are the benefits for a wedding couple to have 2 photographers?
So
is there more benefits than others?
I mean, I think so. So like, and going back to question 1, when it was our day, I wanted a woman to be with me and him to have a guy. So like we would feel comfortable. All my bridesmaids are comfortable around everybody. Yeah. And I wanted my day, like the beginning part of my day to just be documented.
Right.
And his day to be documented. And then when we get the gallery, we can just like really relive those moments together. Even though he wasn't there for my parts, I wasn't there for his, but we can still like piece everything together.
Yeah.
So what I've seen, and echoing everything Megan just said, so we're seeing everything, we're not missing anything out. So there's been times where we've either only been the photographers for someone's wedding, or we've only been the videographers for someone's wedding.
Right, because you guys do both.
We do.
Yeah.
We can talk about that too.
Okay, all right. So what we did was when we were in those situations, you tend to notice, and I'm not putting no shade on anyone else we've worked with. I promise you I'm not. I'm just telling you what I'm saying. we have seen situations where if it's only one of that vendor who is doing the opposite thing, they capture a lot. But there's also a decent amount that's missed too.
I mean, because you can't be in 2 places at one time.
Person.
Yeah.
So if you correlate that with photography realm, then, and I think even photographers would agree, it's like you can't be everywhere. That's why a lot of the photographers out there have people who they trust, who is their secondary shooter to be able to capture all those other moments that they may not be. If you're with the bride, and the day heavily weighs on the bride's satisfaction and what she looks like and what's happening with her friends and everything like that. And does she look beautiful and gorgeous? She does, but what happens with the guys in the situation in that one? So I think that's where I think a second shooter does benefit.
Right.
And the thing is that we've gotten compliments, ridiculous amount of compliments about how like we'll talk and make head nods and gestures and smoke signals to each other. I'm saying across on during the wedding when you're supposed to be quiet, but we can see each other and it's like it'll be some lady tugging on me. She's like, is that your wife? And I was like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. I knew it because I see y'all interacting. Y'all a little closer than just working together. I'm like, oh, man.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. That is PG,
so
man,
awesome.
PG. but that's where,
That is so awesome, man, because, like being at these weddings and just having people to be able to see that. You said smoke signals.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, man, because like when I have a second photographer, it's usually I got about 2 or 3 people that I choose from, and we kind of know each other's cues and stuff. But when you got somebody that you work with all the time, like how you guys are, that's awesome. And then each other outside of the wedding stuff. Yes. So if she see a certain look on your face, she know why that look is on your face.
She on her way.
Same thing, vice versa. You know,
I'm like, put those shoulders down, man.
That's awesome, man. So as far as videography, do you guys include that with your packages, or is it something separate that you do, or?
So we just kind of use it as an add-on.
Okay.
So we have our main photography packages, and if you want to add a video highlight reel, there's a set price for just adding it on. But for the people who just want videography, we have our own separate videography packages.
Yeah. Okay.
It's okay. So yeah.
Yeah. So the videography, just to expand on that, because Megan is the I guess master organizer for the packages, if you will.
Well,
but we'll always go back and forth with what it is. But we first start off with highlight video reels because we found out. So a lot of our style is like what Megan coined flow posing.
Yes.
And flow posing is like where, and a lot of photographers do the same way. They just don't have that name for it. It's like you put the couple in a situation and they'll react off each other. And you capture those moments, those little minor moments, and they're like, oh, walk up to him with it while his eyes are closed. You walk up behind him and tickle him or give him a hug or squeeze his booty. But he doesn't know that she's about to do X, Y, and Z. Can't promise you whatever happens after that, but that's just what we got. What I can tell you. And then what happened is that during those moments, the videographer, oh, that's great.
Do that again.
And I promise you no shade, but I'm just saying what our experience is literally the person would do the exact same thing.
And then it would be taking up time during the portrait sessions. I'm like, man, this would be a lot faster if we could just all do this at once.
So we did that. We started, looking on YouTube, Peter McKinnon.
The Garrett Pitts.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I'm just gonna leave it at Peter McKinnon for now because it's messing me up. But looking at how videography works, what does the mean? I mean, obviously you've done a great job here.
Hey,
so you've done some research yourself.
I have. Yes.
I mean, the lighting, the sound. I get this fancy microphone here, so I'm just looking at your stuff while I'm walking through. Nice. But all of those things play in a part for us to do that. And then I'm shooting in combination. Obviously, both of us are because she's doing too. She had to learn too.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Yes.
But we'll capture probably about 5 hours worth of footage and we condense it down to about maybe 5 to 10 minute highlight video.
Yeah.
Maybe have a little bit of vowels in there, some music in there, a little montage of the day.
Yep.
And then boom, there is your other add-on.
Yeah.
Now, what we did do for the last year, I told her, and I said this, you never know how the universe, God, everything interacts with you, is that I want some more video stuff. Last year, we got crushed.
All you have to do.
All
you have to do is ask.
We got crushed. And then we even ended all.
Just ask.
No, you do.
Just ask and be ready.
I don't know. I was ready. We got railroaded, but we got it.
Wow. That's awesome though.
Our first only video client.
Yeah.
And we did it. We crushed it. It was a Indian infusion wedding.
For your first. So wait, let's hold.
Full wedding.
Let's pause 1 second. You guys had a full Indian wedding on your first full video?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like just a regular one day, 8 hour wedding. But the Indian weddings are usually like what? Like a 2-day event sometimes?
So yeah, this one thankfully was 1 day.
Okay.
1 day. But
it was a whole
But it was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Day.
It was a lot.
It was a whole
Wow, man.
It was
Congratulations
beautiful.
on that.
Thank you so much. No, very, very appreciative of it.
Yeah.
We let them know. Usually we're highlight video guys. They're like, yeah, but we if it weren't for y'all were going to be our photographers, but we had someone else we picked already. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, I'm just letting you know we aren't the video guys. Oh no, we know we want you. Can we have the raw footage too? We heard y'all might be doing some raw footage. I'm like, okay, just know it. And it worked out well. I made sure we were good. We had 3 forms of backup for audio. Yes.
I
know you know.
Yes, like we got here.
Oh my goodness. We had Megan got her updated crash course with her gimbal. Made sure she was good. Had my own gimbal. Had my own primary camera too. And we just had a fun time. We captured them. And it was fun just because me and Megan got a chance just to work with each other pretty much all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
And we use a lot of photography principles that we use.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same. You're just not capturing stills.
Yeah.
It's you capturing the video.
Once you know the principles, you're good.
Yep. The lighting is a little better because you can be down at like a 50th of a second. And you know what I mean? You ain't got to try to play with all the numbers and all that. Sorry, we nerded out for you.
No bad. Yeah. Oh, but no, that's awesome. It is really cool. So and it was fun, and they loved it. They loved everything they had. So
it's great.
Yeah,
That's great, man. So let's segue into the portraits, wedding portraits.
Yes.
And I always ask all photographers or videographers that come on, like, how long does it truly take to do wedding portraits? And then I'll follow that question up with another question after you let me. And well, I'll just ask it now. How long would you like? So how long does it truly take? And how long would you like? You know, I'm talking wedding, but let's just say a wedding party, 6 on each side. Right?
Nah, that's good.
6 on
I was
each
about to
side,
say, it depends on the people.
Yeah, so 6 on each side. And they have a medium-sized family. So tell me how long it truly takes. Now, I want all of you couples to listen to this. Very, very important.
Yeah.
Very important. You can look back at past episodes of couples, other photographers, and you'll probably hear the same stuff. So let's see what Megan has to say about this.
All right. So we always say, start with, let's at least get an hour.
Yes.
Let's get an hour right after the ceremony.
I love it.
And this is something with the relationship between the photographer and the client.
Trust.
Yes. Trust. And we're going to have a plan. So after the ceremony, before the ceremony, the family that you want photos of, they need to know that we're meeting at this spot.
Yes.
To take photos.
Yes.
It's going to be me and Garrett there. I'll take the photos. Garrett will...
I'm corralling the cats.
Corral the cats.
Okay. Yeah.
Get everybody in and out. We can be done with the family within 15 minutes.
15, 20 minutes. Yep.
That can be done.
Yep.
Now, wedding party.
Yep.
You up next. Wedding party, we can knock y'all out in 10 to 15 minutes.
And you know they're asking, when can we go to the...
And please go to cocktail hour.
They
please.
They're asking. Left and right.
We would love...
With me?
Yes,
Are
we're
you
done.
done with me? Yes.
Follow the group.
Go enjoy yourself.
Yep.
So go enjoy cocktail hour.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys after.
Yep.
So, and then we have the rest of the time with our bride and groom.
Yes. Yep. Private time with them and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
We usually like maybe about anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes at the minimum with them.
Yep.
Just so we can like, okay, you've calmed down.
Yep.
You've had a drink. Here's a snack.
Yeah.
Let's go have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you just capture those moments with them.
Capture
Yeah.
them. Now we have, so I know Megan pretty much gave us like 30 minutes with the bridal party and the family and getting those group photos and all that. We have had times, and I've seen it. They're like, we are an hour behind. We need time. We need to catch up. And we have knocked it out. I'm not a fan. I'm not bragging about this. I hated it. But we did it in about 17 minutes. I timed us because I was like, oh my goodness. 17 minutes, we got that part done. And then we did bridal portraits in about 10 minutes tops. And then it was
so like 30 minutes for the whole thing.
Yeah,
we've had 30 minutes for the whole thing.
Corralling. And even between corralling, once all the family's gone, Megan takes the girls, I take the guys, we do a group photo, boom, get out the way. Bridal, the groom and bride come together. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but here's something we should talk about is the first look.
Okay.
If we do a first look before the ceremony, we can do your portraits then.
Yes.
Before your makeup gets runny, before he gets anything on his suit, and before he gets hungry, we can knock these portraits out right now.
Tell them that one more time. That's your camera right there. Tell them that one more time.
If we do the first look, we can knock out your bride and groom portraits right after the first look, before the ceremony, before your makeup gets runny, before he gets hungry. We can do these portraits and they can be done. And if you want, you can go to cocktail hour after family portraits.
Ooh, they can enjoy cocktail hour?
There's an incentive if you want to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you heard it from Megan. Megapixels Media. Megan just told you what you can do. Now, and I know a lot of couples, they want to do traditional.
Right.
You know, if you do traditional, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you've already seen each other, let's just knock these photos out in the beginning.
Yeah.
And just plan all that time in the beginning.
Love it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that, Garrett?
No, that was good. That one right there.
I mean, because we've been seeing, so like the trend is moving towards couples actually wanting to go to cocktail hour and, you know, actually have more time with their guests during their wedding day. So that's kind of been like the trend that we've been doing more lately, is just letting them go to cocktail hour for like 30 minutes or, 10 to 15 minutes.
That's I was about to say 10 or 15.
Yeah.
30 minutes, that's a
30
long
minutes
time.
is a long time.
Yeah.
But maybe like 10 minutes at cocktail hour to make like a little, hey, y'all.
Yeah.
And
that's
then,
okay.
yeah. And
That's
then still
okay.
have their big entrance at the reception.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Any unforeseen circumstances you guys been through, like
man.
let's just say weather, lighting, when those kind of things come around.
We live in unforeseen
Yes, we do.
circumstances.
Give us a story
We
about
have a little
something.
pitchfork and everything. Oh my goodness. So I got one for you.
Okay.
All right, what you got?
Okay, so no names. Remember, no names.
No names. No names.
We had a bride, and she loved this makeup artist. I'm talking just tooth and nail. This is the one I want. I'm gonna pick her. And I said, that's great. Megan was like, yeah, we're gonna be doing our thing. We're gonna be there. The wedding's gonna be hype and everything. Hyping them up.
Right.
Because we usually have our talk probably about like 1 week out from the wedding.
Mhm.
She said, yep, I'm gonna be there. Everyone knows I'm strict about my times. I said, great. I'm feeling. This is still early in the game. We're thinking that everyone's always gonna be on time.
Mm-hmm.
So the day of, I'm there. I'm waiting for them to show up. Megan's with them. We got our strategy going. We're doing it.
Yeah.
And then I get a call from Megan and saying, I think we're gonna be late. And I was like, what you mean you're gonna be late? This is the one who's not supposed to be late.
All right.
She was like, she didn't test run her makeup with her makeup artist, and now her entire face is swollen because she had an allergic reaction. And I said, what you mean she didn't test out her makeup before? So apparently she wears glasses.
Uh-huh.
But that day she wanted to wear contacts.
For her photos.
Yeah.
But then her eyes swelled up so bad that she couldn't get the contacts out.
Oh.
And
I ain't never been through nothing like that.
yeah.
This is interesting.
So
Keep
I'm
going.
So
getting- I'm getting
everybody was
shots.
everybody was trying to get these contacts out of her eye. Like like that.
Really?
The bridesmaids. And I'm like, I guess I could take pictures of this.
It's questionable, but
It was very questionable. So needless to say, we were like an hour late, at least an hour. It
We were
might
at
have been
least
like
an
2
hour.
hours, honestly.
And-
It was a
yeah.
long time.
I got a lot of good detail shots while I'm
Right.
waiting for y'all.
Yeah. But we finally did make it to the ceremony, but she could not see.
She couldn't see walking down the aisle.
Yep, she couldn't see
She
while she
couldn't
was
even
up
see
there.
while up saying her I do's. She literally,
She just looks like she's crying,
Oh my
and
God,
it's
she's
like-
so emotional. She's like, no, I can't see.
Man.
So finally, I think during reception, the swelling effectively went down.
Yeah.
And she could see and all that, but get your makeup.
Yeah,
Test
that
on your
trial.
makeup. Trial
So
your
we
makeup.
always say get a trial.
Get a trial for your
Get a
makeup.
trial.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
So that was an
that's-
unforeseen circumstance, but we roll with the punches.
Yep.
We lost a lot of time during that day, but we made up as much as we could.
Yep. And that's just a cautionary tale. We always tell all of our clients all the time. Please test run your makeup.
Yeah.
Please.
That's a big one for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pivotal moment.
But maybe any unforeseen circumstances that I can think of another story. So we had another couple who planned this big DC wedding, like 250 guests.
Wow.
She had everything planned out. It was amazing. She even had a trolley that was going to take us all the way around, DC and go to the monuments. Like we're going to several monuments. We're going to their favorite pub in DC. We're doing all these things.
Oh, wow.
It was a fun time.
It was all planned out great. It decided to rain
All day.
like not even like cute rain, just like
Pouring down rain.
No.
yeah. So crazy raining all day, and so she had a bridal suite at the Marriott that had this balcony, like this beautiful balcony with the monument in the back and everything. And she had planned to have her first look with her father there, and she was like, "I can't do it. It's just too much rain."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I don't mind being in the rain."
Right.
So, use
And we got weather seal cameras.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reason why you hire a photographer. That's why you cost so much. That's why we
Yes.
charge so much.
There you
Because
go.
we
Speak
got
on it.
professional gear.
Speak on it.
Speak on
We
it.
got professional
You might need
gear.
to say it one more time.
We got professional gear. I'm sorry, Megan.
No,
Go
so
ahead.
I was like,
Yeah,
I don't mind being in the rain. I'll
Right.
go out in the rain. Y'all stay in there. So what I had them do was like open up the doors to the balcony, and they still had their robes on and everything. And they shook up champagne bottles and like blasted them everywhere. And so like the rain is pouring down, the champagne is popping up, and it made for a great photo. Yeah. And if it were a sunny day, we would have never done that.
That's true.
So unforeseen circumstance, check.
So y'all did like a pivot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like like the quarterback used to do. You know, he would be on there, Omaha. Y'all kind of did, Y'all kind of did like a pivot. That's awesome.
And look, same day, we still on the trolley. We're going through DC.
Yep.
We're hitting these spots. We bought some clear rain umbrellas.
Yep.
And we have another shot where the groomsmen with all the groomsmen are letting the bridesmaids ride on their back with the umbrellas.
Because they got the heels on. It's raining so hard.
Yeah, they can't walk through the rain.
They're holding the umbrellas while he's carrying her. I'm like,
so
man,
got that shot.
Sounds like a great wedding. I'm sure y'all got some great shots too.
And
stuff that you wouldn't think of, you probably got. You know?
And instead of like taking photos, like pretty outside photos of the Library of Congress, we went inside and took pictures inside the Library of Congress, and we even played football inside the Library of Congress.
Nice.
With a bouquet.
Who does that?
Right. We would never do that on a sunny day, but on rainy days, anything can happen.
Yeah, y'all pivoted. That was a nice pivot y'all did.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome.
Yeah, unforeseen circumstances make beautiful, unique photos.
Oh yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I am with you all day long. That's awesome stuff. So being on time, like, how crucial is it that the couple stay on time? Because like what you just said about the one that was an hour, y'all was an hour behind. How crucial is it to be on time, and how did y'all catch up? I don't know if they had a wedding plan or not, but how did they catch up with the time after being an hour behind?
So a lot of times, and this is where we go back to why you pay so much for a photographer.
Yeah.
We become the day of coordinator, planner in certain situations.
Absolutely.
I think that we've been it's probably about a 60-40 split. 60 where they have had a planner, 40 where they haven't, and they're like, we'll just make it work, make it work kind of stuff.
Yep.
So it's sometimes easier, sometimes harder, depending on how the couple is and how engaged the bridal party truly is in helping out the day.
Yep.
So in my personal humblest opinion, the way to catch up is you got to trim some fat somewhere.
Yep.
Some people have a little bit of fat trimmed in, and we'll just have to squeeze it all at the very end of the very reception. 4 hours of a reception, and maybe you're pushing into the reception time and you dance less, or it's the photographer. You have less time to eat or less time to take photos for that. So there's time usually baked in a day to recover from that time. The real one is if you're losing sunlight. Yes. That golden hour everyone always tries to get, that capture and all that. If you're trying to aim for that, you better all understand at 6:30, depending on daylight saving time. Right. That's the time we gotta be outside.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man, because I had wedding planners on, Tiffany McCoy and Tiffany Nickel. And they were talking about that, man, about, being on time. Oh my goodness. Shout out to both of them. And it is so important to be on time. Yeah. And they both talked about how they bake in like some time that you don't know about that they baked in. Yep.
Don't tell them. Please don't tell them that. Don't tell them they got extra time.
I was like, wow.
You got to.
That's kind of awesome.
Little pockets in there. Just like little hidden. No one needs to know about it. Maybe the photographer might know about it, but don't tell nobody else. Don't tell nobody else about that extra time, because they will eat it up.
No, that's good stuff.
But having a nice solid timeline.
Oh, that's so good. Having a coordinator or a planner that knows how to keep track of time and is serious about it. Yeah. Like all right, y'all. Like having a good coordinator is akin to having a good photographer, because a good coordinator who's also really good at building relationships knows everyone's names. Yeah. Knows all of the bridal party members who can get stuff done.
Yes.
Yeah. And if they are really good at that, and working good with their photographers and keeping us engaged and understanding what we need to get done and respecting our time too, man, I'm telling you, the day flies. And it's so smooth, and you'll be done, and we'll just be like looking around like, dang, they still got like an hour left.
Yeah.
You know? That's
so you do recommend that couples get a wedding planner.
Absolutely.
Yes. If it's, and like I said, everyone has their own budget, but if it's in the budget, God willing, definitely.
I had a couple on, one or two couples who I asked that question to, did you have a planner? And some of them, well, we had a day of planner or, or whatever. But one couple said, no, we didn't. She said, and it cost me more money not having one.
Yeah.
She said, we could have saved so much money if we would have got a planner.
I 100% agree.
Absolutely.
Like it's stuff that you don't even know that you're supposed to be buying or getting. Or here's one. Who knows when to feed your vendors? Ooh, good.
And when should they be fed? Before everybody else, usually.
Thank you.
And people, I know parents and all of that. Why are they eating before us? That's because they're going to rush us to start doing photos like cake cutting and all of this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
While everybody else is, and so get your vendors out the way first so that way they can proceed on with your day.
I'm about to start crying right now.
I know.
Literally, we will literally be scarfing food down like, Megan, why didn't they not feed us first?
And then we got to have indigestion for the rest of the day.
And I love when they have buffets because we'll just slip on in and go and do it. But if they're like feeding everyone, your food's ready. I'm like, we about it literally this last year. And I swear we were past this. We literally sat down and like, hey, I know you just got your food, but we need to cut the cake in about 2 minutes. I'm like, that's an example of the day of coordinator, not an actual wedding planner.
Yes.
So,
and the hard thing is, we shot, I think it was 21 weddings while I was pregnant.
Oh, she only missed one. She only missed one.
Yeah,
only missed one.
I shot 21 weddings while I was pregnant.
And that was why. Hold on. Can I just brag about you real quick? Okay.
God. You are a trooper.
She literally was there the week before she was supposed to deliver.
3 days before.
Yeah, that's what I said. Within the week. And then she only missed the one because she delivered that week.
I was still in the hospital.
Right. She's still feeling some kind of way about missing that one. So then the next one that we had, then she's up standing for, I think it was like 8 or 9 hour day. And we did have a secondary. So technically it was 3 of us that day. But she was, I don't know. I feel like maybe we didn't need her because
no, we needed her.
Okay.
Wow. You are a trooper.
Yeah.
All the way up. So you
with
a big belly.
I'm getting down low, dancing with people and everything.
What?
Yeah.
Like, you out here pregnant like this? She's like, yeah, man, pregnant like this.
Got people rubbing on my belly.
Wow.
That is awesome. I've never seen that.
Oh, yeah. That was a time.
Yeah.
My hat's off to you.
Yes. But being pregnant and having someone say, oh, we can't feed you right now, feels like insanity.
Oh, yeah.
I will say.
And the thing is that you don't really know who is pregnant because I wasn't showing for like a long time.
Yeah.
But I feel it.
Yeah.
So it's like, please feed these vendors.
Yeah. You gotta feed your vendors.
You just never know.
Yeah, we talked about that. I think it's episode number 1 with Tiffany McCoy.
Good. That need to be an episode number 1.
We talked about that. She said vendors need to eat first. She talked about how many times she had to be at the door where they're coming out at saying, I gotta feed my vendors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Check that episode out when you get a chance.
Hey.
Episode number 1 with Tiffany McCoy.
Yes, Tiffany.
She talked about that big time. So, but yeah, no, that's awesome stuff. I love that. I love that you was pregnant.
Yeah.
I love that. So like wedding trends, where are you seeing the industry like trending now? Because I know like it's so many different things that's out here. What are you guys seeing? I know Instagram has changed the game for a lot of us.
Man.
But what are you guys seeing?
Definitely.
So a few things seeing, like I said, no shade. But the photos that are still but blurry at the same time. Now I get when you're trying to show and emphasize motion, but like
detail shots don't need to be blurry.
If it's like blurry, but I get it. It's like a moody feel. But like if it's blurred to the point where you can't even see what's going on, that's that one. That's an interesting one. And then the other one I've seen is, and this is just because it's just social media, making TikToks for your clients and also TikToks for yourself of the day. So not only are people wanting, your highlight video reels and stuff like that, but they want behind the scenes currently right now done by your photographer or videographer. So like, I know you're taking photos of us behind the scenes, but I need real time video captured. And then if you can, make it into a TikTok for me. And then if you can, send it to me. And then if you can, post it on your social medias too.
And tag me.
So I can just repost that and use it on my account. So just be careful of that out there. That's the
really? I kind of like that though.
I get it. But when is enough? That's a lot of work. You're like, yeah.
I love it.
That is a lot of work though.
It is a
lot of work.
And those are different packages that people are offering.
So who's doing the behind the scenes of you doing what you're doing?
We need somebody.
So you kind of got to hire a third person.
You do.
To be behind the scenes, showing what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Right.
And because if it gets real crazy, you can be like, let me hire another person so they can get the behind the scenes.
You are being ridiculous.
When does it stop?
When does it stop?
I'm sorry. I'm just messing around. All right.
I love it, man. Y'all seem like y'all so much fun.
Oh yeah. We mess around a lot of each other. We'll like poke fun of each other, and we're not afraid to poke fun of each other about it. So we've been on life for a long time.
We best friends.
That's awesome, man. So when somebody hire you guys, like they're getting like an awesome team.
That's just us.
Yeah, they get us.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think some people behind the scenes like, oh, are they really like that? But I'm like, unfortunately, this is who we really are.
This is it.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I might get some coffee before the show. Megan's like, you don't need no coffee before the show. I was like, yeah,
can you imagine that on coffee? No one needs that.
That is awesome, man. So where can people find both of you guys at?
In these streets.
In these streets. I love it. That go back to the street photography days.
I'm the one that doesn't need coffee. So we're on all major social media sites.
Yeah.
Facebook, social media. I mean, okay, start over.
Oh my goodness. No, go ahead. You do it.
Okay, we're on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Okay.
At Megapixels Media.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the name, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Awesome
oh
name.
my God. We had so much trouble with this name.
Yeah.
Right.
Trying to find out what it was going to be.
And people were like, why media? We was like, because we long term, I'm more of a big picture kind of guy. So photography, yes, is our bread and butter.
Yep.
But I saw that expanding into videography and other forms of media that we can go after.
Well,
too.
originally I bought my first camera thinking I was going to do videography. So I bought a Panasonic GH1.
Back in the day, mirrorless.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Like the first mirrorless thing I could get my hands on because I was like, I want to do videography.
Yeah.
Like a lens.
But then I fell in love with photography and it was something that we could easily share together.
Yeah.
So your first camera was a mirrorless camera?
Yeah.
Mine wasn't.
Yeah, mine either.
2011, I had a mirrorless camera.
Really?
Yeah, and I had photographers like, that's not a real camera.
Now that's all they use. That's all we use now.
I was like, but I have Leica lenses. They were like, so?
They are expensive.
I know.
They are.
Very expensive.
And that's why we started charging people because I was like, I need my Leica lenses.
Absolutely. They are nice lenses and they're expensive too.
Yep.
It was a very expensive hobby, photography.
Oh, yes, it is. That's how it was for me. I was just like, I was building websites and people couldn't get pictures. And I'm just like, I'll just get my own. I bought a camera, a little regular camera and start, taking pictures. And I was like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I needed a better lens. And I was like, well, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
Hold on now.
I was like, now how can I need to make this into a business. And then one thing led to another. I realized my man Kenny was in it. He started showing me some stuff, and
Kenny's awesome.
I know Kenny is awesome.
Yeah, that's my guy.
What was your first camera?
A Canon T3i.
Let's go,
All
Canon
right,
T3i.
Canon T3i was my first, and 6 months later, I upgraded. because it was, I was like, this is
not enough.
Once I learned, because you know, you go down a rabbit hole.
I know.
You go down a rabbit hole. I went down this deep rabbit hole, and I was like, told my wife, I said, I gotta get another camera. She said, you just got that one. I said, this one is not it.
That ain't it.
This ain't it.
This is my starter.
This is your starter.
Yeah. Everyone always says a starter camera and everything.
Yeah.
And I always recommend to anybody who would listen is like, get your starter. But just know that that's not going to be your only one.
Yep.
Don't start with the top tier because it makes you appreciate the original.
It's so much fun to grow.
Yep.
You know, give yourself room to grow.
I love that your origin story behind all that.
Yeah.
You always find different stories of why people fell into photography, and it's so cool because a lot of times it might even stem earlier than that. Like if your mom or your dad were taking photos with the old Polaroid cameras.
Yep.
I know for me, it was my grandmother. She always would have her little wind up camera.
That's cool.
You know what I mean? And charge up the little battery right there and then click up, or have the Polaroid where you can pull it out and like that right there. And I know my mom had her own and Megan has her own storage. I just love those origin stories.
I love everybody's
wow,
origin
man.
stories.
So cool.
That's awesome. What's your story?
Oh, geez. My story?
Yeah, how did you get into it? Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, you're being quiet. Tell us about yourself.
Man, well, I went through a year where I lost a lot, and I wanted to find a way to capture what I still had.
Okay.
So I spent probably 90% of my savings on a camera.
Wow.
That I bought from a guy that I knew from high school.
Yep.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, you know, I told him everything and he was like, well, I got this camera. You know, he was trying to make money too. So I was like, does it work? I don't want to spend all this money and it not work. And he was like, no, it works. I'll even teach you how to use it.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da. So we met up at Panera Bread and exchanged, and, you know, I took it home and I just fell in love. And I was like, I love this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is an awesome story.
Yeah.
That's an awesome.
And then
awesome story.
Garrett was like, oh, can I see your camera? And this is my boyfriend. You know, we're not married. So I was like, yeah, I guess you could see it, but like, don't be funny with it.
I love that.
And he was like, I'm not. And then he took my camera to school with him to York. And I was like,
up here.
Yeah, he took my camera that I spent most of my savings on all the way up here to take photos. And I was like, buddy, you got to get your own camera. I'm sorry.
I love that.
So unfortunately, all that is true. She got it back a week later when we saw each other. It was unfortunate that she left her camera with me. I don't know how it wound up there. But so I started off the Nikon D300, I believe. Now, back in the day.
That's what
I got it from the same guy.
Kenny started off with a D300.
Nikon, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm saying it was awesome.
Yeah.
But then, like Megan said, and like you said, you quickly find out the limitations of it.
Yep.
So then we started doing research and we were like, I was still shooting weddings earlier with some of that stuff, but then we started branching out to color science and what we like to see a little better.
Oh yeah.
For our eyes, and it was like the greens and the reds and what's popping, what's making people's skin tones look better from our naked eye. And then we made the decision to go Canon. So that's how we did it.
Y'all still shoot Canon now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I sold all my Canon stuff. And I switched over to Sony because
Sony is great.
They
Sony
were
is
just
fantastic.
Canon. Love Canon, man. I still got a sweet spot in my heart for them. But they just took so long to go mirrorless.
I know.
I think they didn't know if it was really just a fad.
Yeah.
Or they're really going to do it.
And I'm like, why y'all taking so long? And it was. And I was just done. I bought 2 5D Mark IVs. I was on my way.
Oh, you were in it.
I had the Mark IIIs before that.
Right.
You know, and I'm just like, and before that I had the 6Ds. And I'm just like,
we've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, like come on.
Yeah.
And I sold everything. I had like some Fuji stuff at the same time.
We got Fuji stuff.
So I had all that stuff and, just, having some fun with it. And I sold everything, man, on eBay. Everything. And I went all in Sony. All in.
Okay. So would you ever come back?
They got some nice stuff going on.
I'm gonna let you know right now. Okay, and this is the only reason why I'm just like, we're geeking out about gear stuff.
Yeah.
But
this is the photographer section.
Yeah.
Right here.
Fast forward. But the R3 is my bread and butter.
Yeah,
and Megan had
that
it too.
thing.
Like the autofocus, how it just like snaps.
Yep.
Yeah.
And with the 85 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
God, back in the, and I know it's like how slow the 85 would like focus. Like,
yes.
And sometimes you get that focusing and back focusing a little bit. And you hear it going all slow.
Yep.
I'm talking like
instant.
Instant.
Really?
Instant. I haven't missed barely one shot. There's things I was like, oh man, I missed it. And the eye is directly in focus. And I'm like, Megan, you sure you don't want one? I don't know. I think it's pretty. And I use it for video too.
Yeah.
So, it's
that's the one with the grip, the battery grip on it, right?
Battery grip on it all.
I got
but
a buddy.
It's not as heavy as it looks.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a heavy camera. It's really not.
Yeah.
I got a buddy who said he's about to switch over. I won't say his name, but he said he about to switch over. It's not me. I'm still Sony for right now. I'm
gonna keep my eye out.
He said he's switching. He called me. He was like, I think I'm switching. I said, no, you're He said, I think I'm switching. I said, okay.
I'm gonna do it.
So but nah, that's awesome, man. Nice. I appreciate you guys coming up.
Thank you.
This was great.
Yeah.
We talked about a bunch of stuff for couples. We talked about stuff for business. We talked about stuff for photographers, your different cameras and all that stuff. And this is going to be great. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Spotify as an audio and Apple and, Google, all places where you get your podcasts. And, we will put all of Megapixels Media info in the show notes. That way, if you guys want to hire them, you know exactly where to go to find them. And, thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.